Shabbat Shalom. This is a day that the Most High has made. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to the broadcast program. Pray that you are enduring, staying strong, staying the course for what's going on. I think it's very important that you do not let what could be silence lull you back to sleep, or this calm before the storm. So many things have transpired. You had your bread and circus last night. Everybody wanted to watch a fight, which was nothing but a distraction to keep you from seeing the foundation that's already been laid, the infrastructure for a peace system. Today I'm going to read from Jeremiah. Jeremiah kind of experienced what we're going through right now when he was calling for a bomb in Gilead, because we're dealing with large proximity of people who are under strong delusion and not able to grasp the concept of what has befallen them within the last 4 years. The last 4 years, we had our people that were in a stupor and now under strong delusion. And I'm not going to get too technical today, but there was definitely an assimilation taking place. And if you were able to, through discernment and the guidance of the Ruach, understand, you can put all the pieces together to understand the convergence that's taken place and see the assimilation, how it was adapted. And you can see that there's a synergistic effect to the ultimate goal. Jeremiah wept a lot for what was befalling the people and how the deception was so strong. And we forget that when the apostles asked Yahushua, when will we know you're coming, your return? The first thing he says is, let no man deceive you. And deception is very strong. And I pray that everyone that is living in this hour will be able to endure the deception that's coming, which will seem very peaceable, very beneficial, very different from what we've gone through. And it will be what you call a false light. So in that day, before I get to Jeremiah, I want to talk about the book of Amos. I'm going to deal with these prophets from the Tanakh today. And in the book of Amos, the 8th chapter, verses 9 through 10, where it talked about, and it shall come to pass in that day, declares Yah, that I will make the sun to be dark. Let me turn there. Give me 1 second. And then we're going to get into Jeremiah. Okay. Amos 8, verse 9. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahuwah, or Yah, that I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in the clear day. And I will turn your feasts into mourning and all your songs into lamentation. And I will bring up sackcloth upon all loins and baldness upon every head. And I will make it as the morning of an only son, and the end thereof as a bitter day. Behold, the days come, saith Yah, that I will send a famine in the land, and not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahuwah. We talked about this last week, the famine that exists, and most people can't even see it. Even when you turn on your social medias looking for a word or a church, you're embroiled in battles, bitterness, conflict. No one's bringing forth a thus saith Yah. any longer. And so many false prophets and false Christs all prophesied that it would happen. But let me go into getting you to understand, because that's why I'm determined to continue to do my job, and which is teach the word. This particular verse and chapter was in reference to the prophecy in Amos, was in reference to a time when people were celebrating the Passover. It speaks of a day when daylight would be darkened, a day of sorrow and divine judgment. Remarkably, we find this prophecy echoed centuries later during the crucifixion of Yahusha. So we had a type and shadow here in Amos, and then it was talked about in what you call the Gospels of the New Testament. And what it was is that the extraordinary darkness covered the land at noon, as it was recorded in the Gospels, prophesied way back in Amos, a true prophet. Now, what makes this event particularly profound that we just read is that it took place during the Feast of Passover, during a full moon, when a natural solar eclipse is impossible. But Yah performed a miraculous sign that transcended natural law, marking this sacred moment of sacrifice and redemption. Now, this is the amazing thing about when this prophecy was fulfilled through our Savior, our Messiah, that it was documented by the Romans and also in China. They documented it because the whole world, this full eclipse prophecy, the whole world saw it and they knew something had transpired. Historians of the time, including Thallus, a Roman historian, documented, and let me say this about that movie Denzel's in. I haven't seen it yet, but it's chronicling about the time of 200 AD, when the Romans were still killing the original Hebrews that they call Christians, but it was the original followers of Yahusha that saw him crucified and saw him murdered, and the descendants of the early apostles, because we relied on oral tradition, oral law. So oral tradition had been passed down during 200. Of course, our Savior died in somewhere around 37 AD, 31 AD. It escapes my mind now. And the apostles, kind of like, I think the last one in 60 something AD. And when you talk about the times of the Romans and that particular movie, talking about the Romans still killing Christians, that was 200 and something AD. And the goal was to establish a new form of Christianity and to demolish the practices of the holy days of Leviticus 23, the original Sabbath, the keeping of the Shabbat. They were trying to do away with all that. So the Romans were murdering people that kept Hebrew customs and culture. And that was being passed down through oral tradition. So you'll see a lot of these movies are chronicling truth about what happened during that time. Thallus was a Roman historian, documented an unusual darkness that fell over the entire land, and he attempted to attribute it to an eclipse, yet his explanation lacks the context of the full moon during the Passover, confirming that this event was something far beyond ordinary phenomenon. This sign was not only seen in Jerusalem, but was recorded as far away as China, where ancient texts describe a mysterious heavenly event that darkened the sky in the middle of the day, causing widespread awe and fear. This miraculous darkness, witnessed and recorded by diverse cultures across vast distances, serves as a testament to the significance of Yahusha's crucifixion. Yah's prophetic word in Amos found fulfillment in that moment, transforming the Passover feast into a time of mourning as the Messiah bore the sins of the world. It was a cosmic sign, bridging prophecy with historical reality and declaring the gravity of Yahusha's sacrifice. This miraculous darkness, witnessed and recorded by diverse cultures across vast distances, documented. That's why you cannot alienate historical evidence and documents like the Clementine homilies, the book of Jerome, the books of Eusebius. They were documenting and describing what the Hebrews were doing and how they were living during the time of conquest when they were trying to take over our custom and our culture and do away with it and rebrand a new form of Christianity. You had a lot of martyrs, people dying. But nevertheless, this prophecy by Amos was documented in Roman history, and it's fulfilled in the Gospels. The day he died, there was a full solar eclipse in the middle of the day. And you have to remember that he turned a day of celebration into mourning, where the true followers of Hamashiach mourned. You have to realize we were infiltrated by Romans. Herod was a Roman. And then you had the Pharisees and the Sadducees. These people didn't believe like the Essenes and the Nazarenes and the people of the way. These were different people trying to infiltrate and bring in a different religion. Okay, with that said, I just wanted to highlight the 10th verse, and it shall come to pass in that day, declares Yah, that he will make the sun to not shine. And that was the day when our Messiah died on behalf of the children of Israel and those that are grafted in. Let's go to Jeremiah 8th chapter, start at the 18th verse, because Jeremiah's time that he's writing these chapters, especially from 6 to 9, he's experiencing a time like we're living in now. And my prayer is that you'll read Jeremiah with comfort and understanding that after you've done all you can to stand, you must stand anyway. Jeremiah says in the 18th verse, when I would comfort myself against sorrow, my heart is faint in me. Behold, the voice of the cry of the daughter of my people, because of them that dwell in a far country. Is not Yahuwah in Zion? Is not her king in her? Why have they provoked me to anger with their graven images and with strange vanities? The harvest is past. The summer is ended. Excuse me, let me drink this tea. For the hurt of the daughter of my people am I hurt. Jeremiah says, I am black. Astonishment hath taken hold on me. Is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? Why then is not the health of the daughter of my people recovered? Chapter 9, verse 1. Oh, that my head were waters and mine eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. He's talking about the destruction that has befallen Jerusalem back then, and it's the same way as it is with this world. These people actually believe they've elected a savior, a new regime that's going to make everything much better for them, and that the daughter of the whore of Babylon is going to be saved, that it's going to be somehow or another made great again. Nevertheless, let's continue to listen to Jeremiah, the 2nd verse. He said, oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men, that I might leave my people and go from them, for they be all adulterers and an assembly of treacherous men. They bend their tongues like their bow for lies, but they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth. For they